Well, hey there. Happy day. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. But of course, you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below so I know it is the first time you're being exposed to the Pajama Grandma. Having my morning coffee today, first cup of the day, and thinking about, do you ever catch yourself talking to somebody and then thinking, oh my God, I should take that advice myself. I should actually follow my own advice. I've had a bunch of those moments lately where I've been discussing things with somebody, usually a coaching student, and I'm like, aha, a little light bulb, a bulb goes off in my head, and I'm like, oh my goodness, here I am. And I think that that's why people cross our paths, is to show us exactly what we need when we need to see it. I've had a lot of those moments lately where it's just different things from my past and from my present that are just, boom, you know you should be doing this too. You're telling somebody to do this, yet you need to follow your own advice. So that's what I'm thinking about and pondering this morning, is following my own advice. I'm really excited. I just finished day 2 of a 30-day challenge, a 30-day Facebook Live challenge, where we have themes. And so we have to talk about, yesterday was tell a story and introduce yourself, and the who, what, why, and I didn't really do that. I just asked a question. Instead, I said, and ask me anything. And then, because it didn't fit into where I was going with the theme, I'm incorporating all of these different themes in for my own 30-day challenge. I wanted to be able to repurpose that content and use it on my individual group page. So I kind of had it's been really creative, because I have to take something I want to do, the process of supersizing your business. I want to teach people how to do that and incorporate that into a 30-day challenge. And that wasn't so hard, taking and breaking it down into 30 steps, the process that I use to supersize my business and help other people do the same. That was okay, and that was pretty easy. But then the leader of the Facebook Live group challenge, Mary Asana, decided that he would add daily, day of the week themes for us. So one of them is 60 seconds. One of them is share a book. One of them is tell a story. One of them is do a review of your week. One of them is say something funny. And now I'm most terrified of the day of the week, or not the day of the week, the 60-second one, but I should probably be the most terrified of the funny one, because I don't think I'm very funny. I mean, funny looking, yes. Funny, haha, funny, not so much. And I think it's a timing thing. I've never been good at timing and delivery of a message. I need to probably practice that. I guess I'll get to practice over the next 30 days. So the challenging part has been, how do I take what I was doing or going to do and had planned to do and turn that and incorporate it into the themes. So today's theme was share a book that you want to, like do a book review or share a book, but not your own book, because some of us have books, and I've written books. I never tell anybody about my book anyway. It's a secret. So I, of course, shared my favorite book of all time with respect to business and getting what you want, and that's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I think that is the grandfather book of so many great business books. And if you haven't read it, go get it. You can download it for free by just Googling it. So there's really no reason to not have access to that book and that information. And no matter how long it takes you to digest it and read it, take the time and digest it and read it. I didn't read it just once. I've read it at least a half a dozen times now, and I've gotten something different, a lot different out of it every single time, based on who I am at the time of reading. I started reading it in my 20s, and I never finished it because life got busy, life got in the way, and I didn't finish it. It wasn't really until I was probably in my 40s that I actually really read it for the first time and started to understand and started to use that as a foundation for what I created in my life and in my businesses and in the world that I wanted to begin creating. And then, of course, I fell off that wagon, because our lives ebb and flow and ebb and flow and ebb and flow. And sometimes they climb up and then they drop down fast. Sometimes they climb up and they drop down fast. Each of our journeys is a different line. It's a different experience, different journeys we're all on. And mine's been like this. But that's what makes it fun and exciting, right? It's like always being on a roller coaster. So I really encourage everybody to get a copy of that book and read it. And like I said, however long it takes you, when you're ready to read it, you'll read it. It might sit on your bookshelf for 20 years like mine did. And then I got back to it. And yeah, I really only got back to it because my son encouraged me to, and I have to thank him for that. So it was share a book theme today. And then I'm tying that into an action step for the people in my 30-day challenge to take. So today was about, share what your business is in the comments, your action step today. Yesterday was to introduce yourself, not introduce your business, introduce yourself, who you are as a person. And today was the action is to share your business. What's your business? Don't share a link to your business. Tell us what your business is, and it could be one word or it could be a paragraph, but based on who you are, because how you describe that tells us something about you and your business and how you feel about your business. If somebody asks me, what's my business? And I say, what would I say? Boss. That's very different than the person that gives me a paragraph about they're a manager at XYZ Corporation and they love encouraging and teaching other people to be the best salespeople in the world or whatever. I'm just making these examples up, obviously. But that tells me more about that person that gives me the paragraph than the person that tells me the one-word answer, boss. And there's no right or wrong answer. It just is what it is. But it's an opportunity for you to share and express what your business is. And I'm talking to business owners, so I'm assuming they all own their own business. So I probably didn't give a very good example about, I'm a boss at a company that does it. But you might be the boss. That might be how you see yourself, as the boss. For a lot of years in my Italian food manufacturing business, I saw myself as like the biggest gopher on the planet. I did, and jack of all, Jill of all trades, I did everything in that place for a while, which was a huge mistake in supersizing my business, by the way. It wasn't until I gave up on I have to do everything till it finally took off and began to grow. And that's true of all our businesses. So that's what I'm thinking about today. I'm thinking about Think and Grow Rich, and I'm thinking it's time to reread it and go through it again with respect to what I'm doing now, which was where the whole take your own advice comes from, because there's cool things we learn in our life, and the first time we're exposed to them, we don't necessarily get the most out of them, and we choose to go back and revisit those. There aren't very many books or things like that I do revisit, but Think and Grow Rich is one, and I'm going to take my own advice today, and I am going to begin rereading it. I usually do a chapter a day or a chapter a week. I encourage people to do a chapter a week because it's a lot to digest. But I'll probably do a chapter a day just to give myself a quick 2-week refresher, because it makes me feel good and it reminds me of the foundational things that I build into everything else that I do. That's it. Have a fantastic day. I will, of course, see you tomorrow. Bye. Pajama Grandma out.